This is the Avid XB20 2021. I have been waiting to do the review on it. I've owned it for 2 months now. Been able to learn about it, figure out what the boat can do, and I got to say I am impressed with it. I've been in fiberglass boats all my life. I decided to go aluminum. Breck Marine in Selma, Alabama picked up Avid, and I'm on his fishing team, so I told him I'll go ahead and get in it so I can help him. This boat has been fantastic. It does take rough water very well. It runs with 2 people in it, full live wells. I'm running 63 miles an hour. By myself, I'm running around 65. Now there's a lot of great things about it, and there's a couple of bad things about it that I didn't like, but I fixed them myself. All right. I have an Ultrex 112 on the front, and yes, 4 batteries can fit in the back, which I can go ahead and show you that. We added a metal plate going across to hold all 4 batteries. As you can see, the pumps for the Raptures are inside. Plenty of room. There's still plenty of room. There is where we mounted the charger. Only bad part about it now is getting to the pumps. When I have to get to them, I'm going to have to take the batteries out to get to the pumps, but sometimes you got to sacrifice a few things. The dash. Oops, pardon the rough move there. As you can see, I added the radio, of course. And then over here where they had for you to put your phone, I have my water pressure and my hydraulic jack plate indicator. Got to have those. That's one thing that they should be putting on the boat. They don't have put on the boat, but it was easy for it to be installed. All right. Of course, I got my hot foot down there. Now, one great thing is down here in the bottom. You see that compartment. That compartment is where all the wires come in at. And that is where I have my Ethernet switch at. That's where the wires come in at. Now, one thing they didn't do that we went ahead and did is right there in the hole that comes in, I had them put a rubber gasket around the edges, as you can see it. They don't do that. Well, when you have wires rubbing against aluminum with a rough edge, guess what's going to happen? I don't need that, so we went ahead and added some rubber around the edge to keep that from happening. That's something that they should do at the plant, but it's your option what you want to do. Close it back up. Now, one thing that I also did is, as you see here, you got your live well. When you push that in and you have it on auto, you are going to be pumping water into your live well. Well, as a tournament fisher as I am, I cannot leave that on all the time, because in order for it to pump, you have to have it on, and it's going to stay on the whole entire time. Also, if you want to recirculate, you turn the switch to recirculate. And in order for it to recirculate the whole time, it has to be on the whole time. I can't have batteries dying on me in a tournament, so I didn't trust that. So what I did is have my dealer, Scott at Breck Marine, Selma, Alabama, is add a second recirculate. So now I have its own recirculate. I took that to the auxiliary button, the extra button that's here. That now is on a timer that runs my recirculation. Now for the aerator, I added another timer that I took to this switch right over here. This is my aerator timer. I bought the timer at timers.com. It's programmable. I can program it through my phone. I have it programmed for every 5 minutes, pump for 1 minute. So now what I do is when I'm fishing is I always leave that on auto until I'm ready to pump out at the end of the day. So the first thing in the morning is I'll turn the live well on, let it fill up, then turn it off. At that time, I start my recirculate and my timer for my aerator. At the end of the day, I turn those two buttons off, turn the live well button back on, I put it on recirculate, so then I have to pull this out in order to pump out. The pump, and one thing I love about the pump out, it comes out on the side, not in the back like a lot of the boats are doing nowadays, and you have nothing but hitting your motor and you don't get enough water in your bag. Live wells, they're deep, but they're not deep enough for me. I came from a bass cat. I'm used to how deep those are. But one thing I did is I added that pipe right there for the overflow. That way I'm getting an extra 2 to 3 inches of water, and then when I take off, it does not drain some of the water out, so I keep more water in my live well. Sorry that it's a little dirty, but when you're fishing tournaments, you know how that is. All right. The seats, I added the slide on my seat because I'm only 5'7". Some people say 5'6", but I'll go with the 5'7" for now. So one place I'm able to put my net is I'm able to put it behind the seat and it stays right there. Now, I added the center seat. Some people might not want the center seat. I was questionable on it. I went ahead and did it because sometimes I fish with just more than just me and my partner. We have like a third friend that we fish with. All right. I added the dual console. Now, as big as this console is, they have this small little box right here, and I'm thinking about modifying it by taking the box out and making a box inside. But that's just my preference. I have, of course, right here, you have your little center box. I have a few things in it. Rod lockers. You have your center rod locker, which my rods are not in the boat right now because so far I've been able to put there's 8 tubes, and I'm able to put 2 rods per tube, which comes out to about 16 rods. Now, they say that a 7.5 foot rod can fit in this side compartment. It might fit in there. Problem is they put so much foam up in the front that the rods will not fit in there. That's something that I might have to change out. But right now, this is going to be my tackle box. Like I said, all my tackle's out of the boat right now, so pardon that there's nothing in there. But they do have rod holders in there. My plan was to take that out and just lay them in there, but you can't do that. There was a little pad right here that holds your rods. The little step, I took that out. I don't need it, since this is going to be my my storage locker for my tackle. Over here, you got your ice chest. It seems like everybody seems to be copying Ranger, because I think Ranger was the first one that started doing that. But it does work out pretty good. That way, when you're up front, you don't have to ask your partner in the back to get you a drink, like I always have to do before. Okay, and this one right here is another storage locker. Pretty deep, but I'll have my my rain suit and all my other stuff in there. As you saw on the dash, I had Humminbird. It's a Humminbird 12. We kind of modified the bracket. Instead of going with what they had, I ordered all my stuff separately so I could save me a little bit of money. This bracket right here, as you can see back in there, we cut a hole in the plate, and then we're able to put my 12 Humminbird in the dash. Up front, recessed foot pedal, and then of course I'll have my Raptures, which I love my Raptures. They are fantastic. I'm able to program them through the Humminbird now since I have the Gen 4, and when I want to deploy them and I'm sitting down, I can go ahead and deploy them. Back in the back, you can see that's a extra large life jacket. Fits in there just fine. You can see that can kind of give you a determination how big that department is, and it also can be used as an ice chest. Also on this other side, as you can see, it's the same. As you can see in the back, I have my Minn Kota Raptures on it, and my hydraulic jack plate. Now, to give you a little reference of how big this back deck is, all right, I'm standing on the back of the boat right now, and I'm 5'7", and I'm going to take as big a step as I can, and you can see that it took me a long jump. Now I'm going to sit in the chair, and I'm going to stretch my feet out. My partner that I fish with, he is 6'3", and his feet can't touch the end. So that ought to tell you how big this back deck is. Don't mind my other seat up front. That's from my one of my old boats. It's a Bass Cat seat, but I love that seat, and it stays with me. All right, walking to the front. These are the steps they designed, which are fantastic for us old people. Spare tire. I saw somebody on Facebook had some bling to their fenders. I did the same thing. You see my 6-inch hydraulic jack plate. Now, my transducer, some people have talked about. I don't want holes drilled in the boat. That just gives you another place for somewhere to leak. So, through transom savers, Scap Cicero, give you a little plug there, Scap. We got one of the brackets, and we mounted to the hydraulic jack plate. This will protect it, and of course there will be no holes drilled in the boat. I don't want no holes drilled on the outside of the boat. Right there inside, you can see where we added the recirculating pump, and of course again you can see the Rapture pumps. So there's plenty of room back in here for that. My Yamaha fuel filter, one of them, help catch the water. Now, first, some people having issues with pumping gas. I have not had that issue. When I first put it in, it was kind of slow, but after the first tank, I haven't had an issue. I actually, in order to pump it, because the way they have this in here, you have to take the handle and you got to put it upside down in order to pump correctly, in order to get the gas to go in. Once I did that, I don't have no issue with pumping gas. Over there is my switch, my power switch. It's in the off position right now. That literally kills everything. It will not even. It kills the trim even on the motor. So if you want to trim your motor up and down, you got to have that on. here where you can see the precision Minn Kota charger. Your partner can lay his rods right across here, and of course down. It looks like you don't have a lot of leg room, but believe it or not, once you get in, you'll figure out that you do. Like I said, my partner that I fish with is 6'3", and he has plenty of leg room. He actually, I could push the seat all the way back and he can drive. As you can see, they don't have the seat all the way back, so I was able to put my net right behind the seat, which it stays right there, doesn't come out. Now, I changed out the trailer jack. I did not like that flimsy one that they put on there, because it is flimsy. So I went ahead and put a bigger one with 2 wheels on it, because as big as this boat is, it needs it. Tie down straps. Now, one thing you'll find out about this boat, I did try several different props. And the best running prop that I was able to run with this boat was a Yamaha Show 22 pitch, which I was very shocked that the 22 pitch did better than my Fury 24. It's a 15 1/8, and it's a 22 T2 Yamaha Show. I got the 200 Yamaha Show on it. It's a 2021 motor, but it's the old design. It doesn't have the 70 amp whatever you want to call it, all the changes they made to it. I do got to get this fixed. This is too short, but hey, I got a way that I'm gonna fix that, make it look nicer anyway. Again, if you have any interest in buying one, Breck Marine in Selma, Alabama, I promise you, will give you a better deal than anybody will give you out there. Ask for Scott and tell him JD sent you. Now, one other thing that they do have the courtesy lights, as you can see, right along the edge inside there. There is LED lights. They're blue. They look kind of cool on the water. Now, right now, my next thing I'll be adding is my 360 in a couple of weeks as soon as it comes in. Of course, everything has been delayed, and you know how that goes. But again, if you are interested in an Avid and you want the best deal around, I promise you, he will beat anybody's deal. I've already had that proven. If you have any comments, contact me. I'll be glad to talk to you.